rolling thunder, cracking lightning. You move with the force of a hurricane through your enemies. Each lightning-charged round rending your foes limb from limb. They rest quiet now, on fields afar, for this is no ending, but simply the eye of the storm. Hey, what's up guys, TBL here, and today we're bringing you a Destiny weapon analysis video on the exotic machine gun, the Thunderlord. The Thunderlord is an arc elemental machine gun that's got more than a few benefits to it. It has a very high rate of fire along with a very high impact stat, making it somewhat of a rarity among Destiny's weapons. Usually higher rate of fire weapons have lower impact ratings. Now as usual, over the course of this video, we will be covering all of the Thunderlord's upgrades. So without further ado, let's dive on in. Alright, now first up we have the weapon sights. The Thunderlord comes stock with Accurized Ballistics, which grants you more range and impact with a slight increase to recoil. You'll notice that Thunderlord has a little bit of a kick to it, but it's very manageable. Next up we have Field Choke, which actually increases the recoil over Accurized Ballistics and adds a tiny bit of range. Overall, not really worth it in my opinion, as the increase to range that you get barely affects the gun at all. Finally, in terms of sights, we have the Linear Compensator, which grants you a more predictable recoil pattern as well as a slight boost to range and impact. Overall, in my opinion, a good alternative to Field Choke, but not as good as the Accurized Ballistics, which grant you the maximum amount of stability. And believe me, Guardians, as you guys level this weapon up, you definitely want stability. Oh, and it's important to note that whichever sight you pick, it doesn't actually change the gun's aesthetics at all. It'll look the same regardless of which sight you pick. Next up, we've got the Feeding Frenzy ability, where getting kills with this weapon will increase your reload speed by 120% for a short amount of time. This is an extremely helpful ability on a machine gun, since most of them take at least 4 to 5 seconds to reload. Here, let's take a quick compare and contrast. What you're seeing here is Thunderlord's native reload speed without Feeding Frenzy being active. It takes about 5 seconds for the weapon to fully reload. And now, here's a quick reload speed test with Feeding Frenzy active. As you can see, it's just a bit faster than the native reload time and takes about 4 seconds, shaving just a little bit of time off the clock. Alright, let's move on. Next up, we've got the middle tree perks, and boy does Thunderlord have some strong contenders here. First up, we've got Perfect Balance for increased stability. With Perfect Balance equipped, Thunderlord becomes extremely easy to handle, making long sustained fire a breeze to control. This mixes really well with the lightning rounds ability, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But for now, let me just say Perfect Balance is a great choice, especially in PvP where you'll have a lot of fast moving targets in other Guardians. Alright, next up, Thunderlord has got the always wonderful Field Scout ability, which bumps up Thunderlord's mag size from 38 rounds to a mighty total of 60. This is personally my preferred option. I usually choose it over Perfect Balance because I can generally deal with the recoil that Thunderlord has. And for me, more rounds equals more things you can kill. Now lastly, in the middle tree, we've got Flared Magwell, which further increases this weapon's reload speed. This ability is great, and it does stack with Feeding Frenzy, meaning you can get a double boost to your reload animation speed, resulting in a reload time of about 3 seconds. Which is incredibly fast for machine guns and, well, heavy weapons in general. So if you're concerned with faster reloads, this is the perk for you. Now finally, we've got the Thunderlord's signature ability, Lightning Rounds, where this weapon will continuously fire faster and more accurately the longer the trigger is held. Now this, Guardians, is where the fun begins, because this ability basically turns Thunderlord into a laser gun. The ability itself is simple enough to understand. Just start firing, and the longer you hold the trigger, the faster Thunderlord will shoot. In no time flat, you'll be searing down mobs of enemies in a lightning-charged mist. And let me tell you guys, it is a ton of fun. Now it is worth noting that the faster you fire, the more recoil this gun has. And while it is very manageable, you may want to think about using something like Perfect Balance if you're having trouble controlling it. But once you get the hang of it, this ability turns the Thunderlord into a DPS machine. Even more so when you've got Field Scout equipped and can dish out all 60 of those lightning-charged rounds with ease. So with that, have fun burning down everything in your sights. Now, if I were to have one complaint about Thunderlord, it would probably be the mag size. And this is petty, I know, but with Field Scout, you get around 60 rounds per mag, and you burn that through really quickly when you start using lightning rounds. And in my perfect Guardian world, where every exotic that I like is super duper broken, I really would have enjoyed a slightly higher mag size of maybe something like 85, although that would probably be super duper broken in PvE and PvP. Since this weapon is already fantastic as is, if you guys have the chance to get your hands on the Thunderlord, I would greatly recommend it. And let me tell you guys, it destroys the Nightfall on arc burn weeks. But alright, that pretty much wraps up this analysis video on the exotic machine gun, the Thunderlord. In my opinion, it is a fantastic weapon that is really fun to use. It's got a really high rate of fire, a lot of impact, meaning you can drop people in 3 to 4 shots in the Crucible. And its abilities are all really good. I can definitely recommend this to anyone and everyone out there. But alright, that's it for this weapon analysis video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions on the Thunderlord are in the comments section below. And if you like what you saw here, do feel free to check out my channel where you can find a ton more Destiny videos coming out soon. Anyways, that's it for me now. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty. Oh, and make sure to unleash some lightning on your enemies.